Imagine a life where you're completely free, where nothing is irritating you, nothing is annoying, nothing is scary, nothing is making you sad. There is none of these things. Wherever you look, if you should see something that is not necessarily something that you would like to have in your life, you're just neutral about it. Live and let live. You're just completely free and fine, no matter what. You can probably imagine that experiencing this would be amazing. This is what it's all about. To be free. To finally just be able to live your life without any distractions. To be able to just be. To be able to be free. Sure, on top of that, to know how things work and whatever, but right now in this video, we're talking about being fine and being free, to not give into anything, to live and let live, to be able to be in your power in any situation, to never give it away. Wouldn't that be amazing? Is that what you really want? So in the previous couple of videos we have talked about the tests that are happening throughout the day as you go about your day and you encounter certain scenarios or you want to accomplish certain things. But in this video we're going to talk about a different way of encountering these tests. For you to be in your power and for you to be happy no matter what situation it is, for you to not judge and be respectful and be fine with everything, then you need to be all of these things. You need to be fine no matter what. You need to be happy no matter what. You need to be neutral no matter what. And for you to accomplish that, then you need to choose to be it and you need to practice. It's going to take a lot of practice before you are truly free in this sense. And when you are truly free in this sense, you kinda can do whatever you want. But you're going to have no interest whatsoever in going there to where you are sad or to where you get annoyed. All of these things fall away. So let's talk a little bit about the practice that is going to have to happen for you to be free like that. But before we do that, I'm just going to remind you again that unless you do this, you're not going to experience that type of freedom. I don't like to talk too much about myself, but on the earliest point in my journey after finding Judy, this is the exactly one thing I did, and it paid off tremendously. As you go about your day, you have your source self-connection and your physical experience. Before you found Judy and when you were eating meat, your source self-connection was very small and your physical experience was very big. It had taken over. Your source self-connection was barely there. In the exercise that I'm going to talk about now, you're going to learn to calm down the avatar to where the source self-connection can start growing, and you're going to keep practicing. It's going to take a lot of practice. I'm going to talk more about that soon, but let's focus. You have your source self-connection and you have your physical experience. The experience of being here. The experience of emotions, potentially, or mindsets. So when you do the exercise that I'm going to tell you about now, then your source self-connection is going to start growing to the point to where it takes over. At that point, this physical part of you that can easily give into emotions is kinda going to disappear in a sense. It's not going to be there like it was before. It's called completing the inner alchemy. Your source self-connection will take over and you will change and things will be different. Unless you do this in the way that I'm going to talk about now, then you're not going to be able to be very free in this game. You might have discovered this way yourself, you might have tried it before. You're simply just going to sit and be neutral. You're going to not give into anything, and as you sit there for 30 minutes, your source self-connection, your natural light, your neutral light within is going to increase. That is this part. You need to keep sitting there. You need to choose not to give into anything, to rather choose to be in your neutrality, be in your light, the light that you have in your center. You will benefit from understanding that you can truly be this light. You can have the experience of truly, fully, wholly, and completely being this light, where the sensation of the lower frequency you is just not there anymore. You're simply just that light. Now, as 30 minutes have turned into 1 hour, the source self-connection will start to grow much more. You might not be able to experience it to the fullest extent on day 1. At some point you might feel a little tired. It might get a little heavy to practice like this, but you might want to continue the next day. The next day, when you start practicing, your source self-connection has not gone back to the way it was before you started practicing this way. It's now a little bigger, and you start from that point, and it's going to grow and grow and grow, and you're going to reach a new high on the second day. You essentially just have to understand that going about life and having a very active avatar that is very caught up, that is very emotional or stressed, with a poor source self-connection, is never going to get you to the point to where you are completely free in your source power, in your light, where you are completely neutral and fine about everything. For you to be fine about everything and in your power, you need to be in your power. And for you to truly get there, you need to practice, you need to do the right steps, and there's only one thing you can do, and that is what I just told you about. Now, as you recognize what 30 minutes of this is going to do for you, then I suggest you keep going, and you start recognizing what 40 minutes is going to do. It's really going to increase the source self-connection. And you can understand that being in your source self-connection like that comes with tremendous amount of wisdom. You need a good source self-connection in this game. The source self-connection in itself has all the knowledge, has all the wisdom of how to handle the energies, how to accomplish the balance, how to perceive all sorts of situations, all mindsets, whatever it should be. If you can have a tremendously good source self-connection, then you are going to experience tremendous freedom. You need to understand what I've said here now, because unless you understand it, you're just not going to sit down and practice. You're going to think of this as a cold shower type healthy thing that you could do, or maybe eating fruit. This is something else. This is really something else. Now, if you can do this correctly, sit down, relax in your center, breathe, focus on your neutral light in the core of your being and let it grow, and you continue doing this day after day. Maybe on the 3rd day you can sit there for 2 hours, maybe on the 4th day you can sit there for 2.5 hours. Then eventually your source self-connection is going to get so dominant and strong at some point, and you're going to have so much wisdom and understanding that comes from that source self-connection, that you're going to essentially get to the point to where you can, within the next short little while, complete the inner alchemy. That is when the source self-connection takes over and becomes your dominant experience. Now at this point in the game, I see no reason that you shouldn't do it. If you do it, it might be a little confusing, but not in the sense that you think it wasn't worth it. Aren't you a little confused now even? What do you have to lose? If I were you, I would do it. This is what I did. All the way in the beginning when Judy won the game, I did this. Took me 3-4 days. Bam. Completed inner alchemy. I didn't know it at that time. Things got a little strange, but I would want it no other way. I'm very happy I did it. If I was you, I would just do it. I'm not saying you have to, I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying personally for me, I really enjoy having completed inner alchemy. And if you think there are some reasons that you shouldn't do it, or maybe you're fooling yourself, or maybe you're right, maybe it would be best for you to just complete it, maybe not. But I definitely suggest that you start practicing. That's what we're working towards anyway. It's to complete inner alchemy. After that, it would be to increase your capacity, your wholeness, your power. Unless you have completed inner alchemy, that is essentially the only thing you are working towards. So, I suggest you start practicing. I suggest, unless you have something very important to do tomorrow, maybe start practicing then. Maybe you can start practicing a little early in the day when you're not so tired. See if you can sit there for an hour. See if you can definitely get to the point to where it has been 30-35 minutes and you start really seeing the effects. You really are going to start seeing the effects when the physical avatar has started to calm down and the source self connection is starting to really grow. I really suggest that you sit like this when you do this, and if that is too heavy for you, I suggest you stop whining about it. Man up. This isn't a lot. You can sit like this for an hour. And if you have any pain or it's difficult, straighten your back a little bit, sit comfortably. Maybe find a different seat to sit on. You can do it. Understand that what I have mentioned in this video about this exercise is essential. Come on, wake up. You need to understand this. This is obvious. For you to be free and in your power, you need to be free and in your power. And the only way you can do that is by having a good source self connection. By having a lot of neutrality, a great capacity to be in your neutrality. It's that simple. You're not going to accomplish that by eating fruit. Sure, it's going to help a little bit. Cold showers are really nice. It's going to give you a certain type of boost. There is a lot of good things you can do in life, but if you want to be truly free, then this is how you do it. Now, if you have benefited from this video, kindly consider becoming a supporter. Abundance, health and prosperity to you. Thank you so much.